Hi, my name is Stefanie Arend, and today I want to discuss the question if stretching makes sense or not, and if it makes sense, how much should you stretch? I want to tell you why I want to talk about this topic. I am the author of various yoga and health books, and also I'm a yoga teacher trainer, especially for yin yoga. And yin yoga is a style of yoga which is very passive, and you do long-held stretches in yin yoga. So it has become my main job to do these stretches, and of course I'm in favor of stretching, but let me also tell you why. What experiences have I made? I can understand that a lot of people think, okay, it's important, what does the study say? And I also read a lot of studies, to tell you the truth, but I also think it's super important to consider what does this do for the individual. And studies cannot take into consideration every single individual. It's hard to say something for everybody. So you should really come out of your head, because this is something what a lot of Westerners love to do. They're a lot in their head and they need studies and why is that like this, and instead come more into your body and just feel what happens to you when you do this. This is more like the Eastern point of view. And in the East they have the beautiful sign of yin and yang, and that means that we always need both sides. We need yang and we need yin. And when we do active sports like running, like weights, like playing soccer or football or whatever, that's all yang orientated, and we also need a yin side to the whole thing to compensate the yang. And I can speak from my own experience, because I used to be a very, very young person. I was very much into martial arts. I practiced Taekwondo for more than 12 years, and I did it excessively. That means I went to practice every single day, and when there was no practice, I went into the woods and was running for 2 or 3 hours, and I went to the gym and did weights, and of course I did some stretching, but not really much. So what happened after those years? I became a chronic back pain patient. When I was around 20, I really had bad back pain. I couldn't sit anymore. I needed to get injections to fight the pain almost every week. And then it got so bad that I couldn't do any sports anymore. And then I had to think about, okay, what was happening here to my body? I did sports all the time, and I was having all of that pain. So I started to trust my intuition, and what happened was that I did the first yin yoga poses, even though I didn't know what yin yoga was. So I came into a forward bend when I was sitting, and I rounded my back, and I felt that something was happening to my fascia, something that I didn't know before, and it felt very good. So I just kept on doing it. And it took 3 months for me to get out of the pain. And ever since then I did not have back pain anymore, because I integrated both into my practice, yin and yang. And now I'm over 40 and I still don't have back pain. And I think that speaks for itself. That's an experience I had which was so awesome for me to really understand, okay, we always need yin and yang if we want to balance our life. It would also not be right to say, okay, all you need is yin yoga and everything will be fine, because then you will have too much yin in your body, probably. I love yin yoga, I do it every day, but I also have a yang practice. I go on the rebounder, I do HIIT training, I do yang yoga, I do sling training, I do a lot of that stuff as well. And that's just perfect for my body. And that's also what a lot of students say when they come to yin yoga. They say, okay, there's something in my body which I didn't know before that feels really good, and they regenerate by doing that practice. And how much should you stretch? That's also an interesting question. In yin yoga we usually stretch 3 to 5 minutes, but that also depends on the single person. If you are a beginner, that can be too much. Maybe you just need 1 or 2 minutes, and that's fine. And I always tell my students to trust your own body. I don't use a timer for my own practice, but I really trust my body and I rely on the feelings I have in my body. And when I think, okay, that's enough, I slowly come out of the pose again. And if you do that, then you're probably doing that exactly right, because your fascia will get stretched after a while. Fascia responds very slowly to the stretches, so you really need that time. And something I'm very skeptical of now is when a yoga teacher comes to the student and pushes the student into the pose. I used to do that as well. I did various forms of yoga teacher trainings. Some of them were very alignment based, and the teachers pressed the students in a lot of poses. But my experience was that that wasn't good for everybody. And the more I learned about the individual anatomy, the less I touched the students in the poses and let them do their own thing, to listen to the inner yoga teacher, which is for me the most important yoga teacher we have. So if you go and press a student into a pose, that gives a lot of pressure, and then you can of course stretch too much because it's too much of an impact for the body. But if you go slowly into the pose, stay passive and just trust your body, you will know exactly how much is right for you. And then you can come out of the pose again and see what's your feeling now. Do you need another pose, or is it enough for now? And just listen to that inner yoga teacher. So I'm absolutely in favor of stretching, but you also have to see that we always need both sides. We need yin and yang to have a balance in our life. If you want to learn more about that, then subscribe to my channel for more videos, or check out my website www.yinyoga.de. I'm happy to talk to you again, and namaste.